The state of Michigan found out about PFAS chemicals in the Flint River before they switched to the Flint River. And they switched to the Flint River anyway. Could that have something to do with the fact that Flint's poor? Poor black people, poor white people. What the hell? We'll save some money. Let's switch to the Flint River. Oh, we want to save some more money. Let's not put corrosion control chemicals in the water. Corrosion control chemicals help control against chemicals like that. Dangerous chemicals dipping into the water, not to mention lead. But now that PFAS chemicals, the same chemicals that they knew about before, they knew before they switched to the Flint River that these chemicals existed in the Flint River. Not like, chemicals that they're bad, but they won't cause anything. No, chemicals that have been shown around the country to be causing cancer. DuPont had to settle for over $600 million with families in the Ohio River Valley for causing cancer because of dumping PFAS in water bodies in the Ohio River Valley. Same thing's happening in North Carolina right now. Lots of lawsuits. PFAS chemicals found in the Cape Fear River. When I was at the Young Turks, I went down there to report on that. Now the PFAS is being found throughout Michigan and other water bodies that affect middle-class white people. They're on it. They are on it. You have seen a pretty aggressive response from the Department of Environmental Quality, the state of Michigan, Governor Rick Snyder. It's unbelievable. It's really, really unbelievable. This is called environmental racism. This is called environmental racism. Let me tell you something. If PFAS chemicals were found in Ann Arbor, in the water, Grand Rapids, name your pick, they would not be using that water. So not only did Rick Snyder, the Department of Environmental Quality, the Department of Health and Human Services know that this water had contamination from General Motors dumping its waste in there, from fertilizer, fracking. They also knew that there was basically cancerous chemicals in there. I believe it was just downstream from Flint. They used it anyway. And to save a couple bucks, didn't put the proper treatment chemicals in that water. And we know what happened. Will anyone be held accountable? Probably not. Probably not. Because the state of Michigan now has perfected, and the media has aided it in perfecting this, the art of close your eyes, there's nothing to see. That's what the state of Michigan is very good at, and that's what the media has helped them do. I can't tell you how many, one day I'll get into this, hopefully soon, how many media outlets I've spoken to in Michigan. And the responses I've gotten from them on certain findings, you would be absolutely stunned. Stunned at these responses. I'm not. You would be. And I am going to reveal a lot of that. Not just for Michigan, but nationally too. So, here's the bottom line, folks. I say it all the time. This is why I cover water issues at length. You need to take it upon yourself to find out, number one, where your drinking water comes from. If you have well water, look into that too. You need to find out where your drinking water comes from. You need to find out what flows into that water source. Your drinking water might come from a local dam, a local stream, a local river, a local whatever that has a lot of other river bodies that flow into it. The Flint River, for example, had something called the Holloway Dam that flowed into it that had a lot of nitrates and fertilizer that flowed into the Flint River. Some main river bodies have hundreds of other water bodies that directly or indirectly flow into it. So that means find out who are the agencies in your town, in your city, and in your state. You need to find out. There are websites that have names of chemicals and the amounts of chemicals in your water. I don't trust them because they come from the EPA. And unfortunately, I've learned that the EPA isn't exactly the most transparent with a main mission of finding contamination. The main mission of the EPA, state environmental agencies, local officials, is to make sure they don't find anything so they don't have to pay for it. And Sam just put it in there. If you're not signed up to my email list, what are you doing? This is how we're going to grow the company and the website that we're launching. That's how you get around YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all these suppressive sites. So definitely enter your name and email so we could get news to you first. We won't get hysterical and bug you 24/7, but we will be sending out emails from time to time. I wanted to read a statement that I just instrumental. She was instrumental in the lawsuit that won $97 million, a $97 million settlement that went a long way to fixing a lot of the pipes. I wanted to give you her quote in response to this. Quote, "How many other chemicals and contaminants will we find out we drank after the fact? It is horrifying to know that if they did test the water before we switched to the Flint River, that they did not disclose this information to residents so they could protect their families. When will people matter?" Couldn't have said it better. One more time. How many other chemicals and contaminants will we find out we drank after the fact? It is horrifying to know that if they did test the water before we switched to the Flint River, that they did not disclose this information to residents so they could protect their families. When will people matter? When the people revolt. And by the way, that's a woman who herself has many health problems because of the lead and other contaminants, and her 3 teenage boys all have severe health problems. I've met them all. So while the media gives a post-mortem love affair to the dearly departed John McCain, who I told you the truth about earlier, and we argue about whether the flag should be at half staff or full staff, that's literally going on. And the rest of whatever distraction Trump puts out this week, just know it's now been revealed. In any sane environment, in any sane media, this is a bombshell. It's more evidence that state officials intentionally switched an entire city, at the time over 100,000 people, to a not only a water source contaminated by industrial contaminants, but contaminated with cancer-causing chemicals, and did it anyway. If you don't consider that environmental genocide, you're not looking closely enough. And don't think this is exclusive to Flint, folks. Do not think this is just a Flint thing. I have reported, and I will continue to report on other areas with water contamination. And all these stories are not just about the water. It's about who knew what, when. It's about cover-ups. It's about agencies looking the other way and blaming that agency instead of themselves. It's about a CYA, cover your ass. Meanwhile, it's the people getting sick in Flint. Wait until you watch this whole documentary that Ty is currently working on from our reporting in Flint. Wait until you see how sick this city is while it's depicted as improving. I mean, East Chicago, Indiana, same thing. North Carolina, same thing. So I will continue to report on these matters. A few public service announcements. We are pretty close, I'd say a couple of weeks away from launching our website. My website diviner is sending me the blueprints, and we're going back and forth, making tweaks here and there. Like I said, once we launch this website, we launch this company, I will be live at the same time every single day, so you don't have to worry about notifications or anything like that. We will send you the notifications from our site, but we are going to create Appointment Internet. Ty and I are also going to be taping and recording a podcast with each other. We'll be releasing that same time every week. We're going to try to get in a routine, in a consistency. Right now, we're just putting it together. It's very time laboring task to basically build an entire media company with just a few hands. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for your contributions. The Patreon is past 400 now. We're marching towards 500, hopefully. Thank you to those of you who are Patreon subscribers. For those of you that aren't, you could do it as low as $1, $2, $5 a month. We're going to have other ways that we're going to try to earn revenue for this company. And also, if you don't want to become a monthly subscriber, there's also contributions you can make at PayPal. PayPal.me/statusquo. That's PayPal.me/statusquo. We've had people contributing there too. I very much believe, and I said this during my videos on Abby Martin, the days of free media are over. If you want the truth, you're going to have to pay for it. There's no way to put it. I don't sugarcoat it, and I keep it real. Obviously, if I was in this to make $1 billion, I probably wouldn't be an independent media. But we do need funding to do everything from report to travel to research to keep the lights on. So if you like what you're seeing, if you've seen what I've done in the past, definitely consider becoming a Patreon and contributing in whatever way you can. If you can't, share these videos, get them out to more people. I will see you tomorrow